pimps, power, and pretty ladies. This is Black's History Month, a 28-day celebration of black exploitation films. I don't think the title of a movie has ever deceived me more than Black Samson, but maybe that's what I get for judging a book by its cover. With a name like Black Samson, I assumed it would be a tale about a black superhero with unlimited strength, maybe powered by his Afro or something. Instead, I got a movie about a normal dashiki wearing community activist? Doesn't quite live up to the title, does it? Black Samson stars Rockne Tarkington as the titular character, and his presence is actually pretty intimidating. He's a massive man height-wise and has a booming voice that rivals William Marshall's of Blackula fame. That's about where the intimidation stops though. He carries around a quarterstaff everywhere he goes, and he needs it, because despite his name, Black Samson is constantly getting his ass whipped. In fairness, in most cases he's getting jumped by multiple men, and he does win in the end. No matter how many dudes they send at him, his hands are rated E for everybody. Samson's only motivation is, as usual, keeping the drugs out of the community. Only he doesn't do this by beating up drug dealers and maybe throwing them down a flight of stairs for good measure. No, he actually goes and just talks to them. Yeah, he may raise his voice here or there, but it's mostly just him explaining why they can't operate in his neighborhood. It's quite the departure from the usual neighborhood heroes who try to drive out the criminal element with guns. Plus, Samson doesn't need a gun. You know why? Because he has a goddamn lion. You get out of line, he'll probably just feed you to it. The criminal element in this movie is ran by an Italian mob-like group led by this guy named Johnny Napa. Dude is ruthless and terrifying in every scene, and it's nice to see a villain who isn't a complete buffoon. At first it seemed like this was kind of a gentrification story. It seemed like the mob guys was flooding the neighborhood with drugs to bring the property value down, so that they could move in and buy up all the buildings. But no, they just want to control the drugs in the neighborhood, and Black Samson is standing in their way. No idea how I confused the plot like that, but if I'm being honest, that would have made for a better story. Especially with the way that Samson attempts to pull the residents together to fight for their town and have pride in it. It fits better than the mob just wanting more customers. They do try to do some comparisons to the traditional Samson, because when all else fails, they send in a white woman to try to weaken Samson by getting close to him. But they pretty much dropped this by the next scene, so they could have just kept this to themselves. Even though Samson is a positive leader in the community, he operates out of a nightclub named Samson's, which is a bar and strip club? Talk about a contradiction, or is it? When you really think about it, what better way to bring people together than beer taps and titties? Carol Speed from the Mac makes another appearance as Samson's girlfriend, and she acts circles around everybody else in this movie if you ask me. She gets a lot more screen time and opportunity to show some range, and I think she delivered. I think Black Samson was a missed opportunity. I know there wasn't really a market for superhuman type characters in 1974, and this was 4 years before the first Superman movie, but I think making him an incredibly strong protector of the community would have made this movie stand out way more than other movies just like it. Without the powers, he's just another in a long line of crime fighters, and although he doesn't fight in the traditional sense, the movie didn't do enough with his uniqueness to set him apart. It's a decent movie, but it could have been so much better.